My name is Lena, and I want to share my story with you. Today, I want to talk about my husband's family. It's been over 20 years, but I still feel hurt and upset. I cannot forgive my husband's parents. I've tried to move on, but the pain still lingers. When I moved to Spain, I didn't know much about my husband's parents. If I had known what I was about to face, I would have asked for a divorce before even leaving my home country. I was only 20, young and naive, with no idea how the world worked. I didn't know how to speak up for myself, so I just accepted everything. My husband didn't support me. He was afraid of his father and always did what he said. I had to face it all alone. I felt incredibly lonely and would cry while holding my baby in my arms. Before we moved, we were living with my parents. Everything seemed okay, but I always knew I would eventually have to leave. Still, I didn't expect it to happen so fast. We had to leave earlier than planned. I said goodbye to my home, my family, and most painfully, to my dear mother. She meant everything to me. I had never been far from her before, and saying goodbye felt like a piece of me was being ripped away. At 20, I was just a girl, unsure of what I was going to do in a foreign land so far from everything I knew. The move hit me hard. I became ill. My heart ached constantly from homesickness. My husband's parents never helped or showed concern. I was completely alone. I had to gather strength not just for myself, but for my baby and for my mother, who was heartbroken by the distance too. I spent months visiting doctors because I felt so weak and tired. I tried to stay strong, but it wasn't easy. Eventually, I started working. Nothing about it was simple. I had to adapt to a completely new country and culture, and I didn't know the language. Communicating was a daily challenge, but I pushed myself. I learned new skills and slowly started to find my place. I found a good job and started earning money. That gave me some confidence. I felt proud I was achieving my goals. My dream was to buy a home. I worked hard every single day to make that dream come true. Meanwhile, my husband couldn't learn the language. Even today, he still struggles with it. For a long time, he didn't work, and I had to support the whole family on my own. I never gave up on him. I supported him emotionally, took care of him, and provided for our family. But one day, everything changed. My mother-in-law began saying hurtful things. She told me she always wanted a daughter but never had one. She would look at me and say other women had their mothers nearby, but I didn't. It felt like she expected me to be something I wasn't. I began to wonder, what do they really want from me? Love? Affection? I don't feel that anymore. I can't give them that. I only treat them with respect now. I say polite things during holidays and try not to upset them. But that's all I can manage. My mother passed away 10 years ago. I miss her deeply every day. I regret not visiting her more. I remember how my mother-in-law once told me not to call my mother more than once a month because international calls were too expensive. That made me feel so guilty. I called my mom just once, told her everything was fine, and quickly hung up. I didn't want to make waves in the household. Looking back now, I see everything more clearly. My husband's parents never liked me. They never really cared about me. And my father-in-law? I can't even bear to think about him. One night during an argument, he kicked me out of the house with my baby in my arms. I was scared of my husband, who was drunk and angry. I had nowhere else to go, but I needed to stay for my baby's safety. My father-in-law told me I could leave, but not with my child. That was it. I chose to stay. I could never leave my son behind. It feels like it happened a lifetime ago, but even now, the memory brings tears to my eyes. Why was I so weak back then? Why couldn't I stand up for myself? And why do I still act like nothing happened when I talk to them now? It hurts me to be kind to them. I feel like I'm wearing a mask every time I interact with them, pretending to be okay. But inside, I'm still broken. I'm sorry if this story seems disorganized. It's hard to think clearly when I'm reliving such painful memories. But I still need to figure out how to keep speaking to them, how to manage these complicated relationships. I know I will never forget what happened, but I truly hope that one day I can heal.